I know on BrownsFilmBreakdown.com you talked about signal caller urgency for the Browns. Take us through that and what you mean by it.
Yeah, I mean, they're clearly showing a bunch of patience here, which is fine. I think that they drafted Dylan. They like him. I get it. They want to give him a runway of starts. I am just curious. Like for me, I'm just curious about the whole operation because like you took two quarterbacks in the same draft. You obviously are going to be trying to draft another quarterback with your pick in the first round this upcoming draft of some variety, we think. You would think that there would be an urgency, and there's still enough games left to do this, but you would think there'd be some urgency to see in a meaningful setup what Shador can do so that you don't wait. And maybe, I go back to this quote that Mike Zimmer said like 3 years ago. They had a young man who eventually came to the Browns as a backup depth player named Kellen Mond. He was, I think, a third-round pick. And the Vikings at the end of the year, they were getting, I think they were getting into, they're struggling, and quarterback was hurt. Kirk Cousins was hurt at the time, and somebody asked, would you like to get a look at Kellen Mond? And he's like, not particularly. And they're like, why is that? He's because I look at him every day. So I don't know if there's like internally in Berea if they're not seeing anything that is trustworthy with Shador. I don't know. We're left to do a bunch of this conjecture stuff because it doesn't make sense. But to me, taking that young man in the fifth round and all you knew that came with him in this season is clearly a I don't hope I'm not bursting anybody's bubble here, a season that's moving in the direction of like not winning football games is probably the best outcome. I would think that you would see Shador at some point to see if there's anything there before you jump 2 feet into the next quarterback. So listen, they can name Shador the starter next week, and all of this whole mystery is moot. But I'm curious, like if you spent a fifth-round pick, a pick that you moved up to go up and get, if you thought that was the right move, like why you wouldn't want to get him some time this year before you invest in the next guy is a little bit interesting to me. So I expect Shador to play. I hope it's not when everybody's in like Cancun mode on like week 17 here. Um, so we'll hope for the best with the opportunity for the young man. But yeah, this is where like they you would think that they would be pining for better quarterback play, but it's like, nah, we're gonna continue to start Dylan and go from the end. It's like, all right, I guess there is no urgency here. So um that probably tells a story in and of itself. But yeah, that's kind of the conversation point that I feel like we've all had, and I know you probably had with a lot of different guests on this show. Just like, when are you going to see it?
Yep.
I don't. We have no inclination they're going to play him.
Yeah. No. And to your point, relative to Mike Zimmer, that's got to be it. They're seeing something that is giving them reason for concern and reason to not put him out there, because it certainly hasn't been the play of Dylan Gabriel that's kept him from getting on the field.